Almost podcast. I'm your host Tay, and welcome back. Today we have another solo episode, as you can see, part of our series, part of our adult/college experience series. And today, you named it, I guessed it. But we're gonna be talking about being black at a PWI. And I went to a PWI. I low-key wish I went to a HBCU, but let me know if you'll be like, girl, you lucky you went to you lucky you went to a PWI. You do not want to be over here at HBCU. But like, I've always wanted to know what that experience would be like being in an atmosphere that is pro-black, that is majority black students that are involved and concerned about black injustices, black issues. Like, every day is a fashion show, honey. Like, you feel me? Like, I'm trying to see the fits. I'm trying to see the swag. You feel me? Like, homecoming was lit. Parties lit. Like, it don't even have to be occasion. We lit. People strolling in the cafeteria. We lit. Okay. That's what I wish I experienced going to college. But child, I did. And so today we're going to talk about what it was like for me as a black person to go to a PWI. For those of you that don't know, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows what PWI is. It's a predominantly white institution. So I went there, catch a girl with the white people. But to note, my school, we had more black people there than I thought there would be. So it wasn't totally white, but predominantly white. And the activities were white. Our first week of school was Pops Week, bro. Pops Week. And let me tell you what we had to do at Pops Week. So let's say it was a group of six freshmen together, and we had two people that were like seniors or sophomores or whatever, that maybe. When I tell you, it was like we were at boot camp for the first week of school. We was at boot camp. Like, nobody was on campus, and it was like a little mini boot camp. So like, we had to be there at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. bro. 7 a.m. until like 3. Throughout the day, we had little activities. And get this, while we were walking around, we had to learn these little cheers. And like, let's say your group called my group out, we would have to stop and say, they would be like, do the dirty banana. We would be like, what? Do the dirty banana. And then we would have this little cheer that we would have to do, right? When I tell you it was PWI to the max, it was not PWI. PWI to the max. It was PWI to the max, bro. Like, choreographed routines to go with the chant. When I tell you boot camp vibes, it was boot camp vibes. And then they made us feel as though we had to go to these every single day. But then it was like, well, we the only ones on campus. Like, what else we gonna do? And so, like, they would have us out all day. They would be like, you need to be here at a certain time. But I got to a point where, girl, I wanted to sleep in. I'm not coming for lunch because the food was trash. So I'm not coming to waste my time to be sitting there, and then I'm mad that I didn't walk out of my bed, and I could have stayed in my bed and slept a little bit and then came to these foolish activities. Me as a black woman that went to a PWI, I would say these are the things that I wished were talked about more, and things that are like, if you go into a PWI, this is what you can expect. So I wrote them down, so if you see me look to the side, it's because I'm looking at my notes. But I would say number one, child, let's address it. The food is trash. The food, don't even think for one moment that the food gonna be lit. Like, the food is trash. You would need to bring your own seasonings. To be honest, everything needed salt and pepper. I think at one point I started bringing my own hot sauce to the caf because this was not it. Oh no, I didn't. I lied. But I think I started bringing Obey to the caf, and then eventually they got Obey because they had condiments, which was good. But when I tell you, the only station I would eat from was the pizza station, and then the station where they had fries. And because I ate fries so much, y'all, I literally got acid reflux in my throat for a while because all I was eating was greasy food. And by that time, I did not have a car, and my campus was located like in Reading. And nothing was around right. Like, you needed a car to get to other places. Like, only thing close was Wise, bro. It was such trash. But food was trash. Eventually stopped getting the meal plan because when I tell you I wasn't going to the caf, I wasn't going to the caf. I'd rather have ramen noodles than go to the caf. And at that time, I didn't really like ramen noodles like that. But I would rather... There was this one time, I'm a freshman, right? So I wasn't working, so I was struggling student, okay? I called my dad for $10, bro. $10. I was like, Dad, please send me $10. Like, the cat food is nasty. I need something to eat. Like, please send me $10. I just want some ramen. Like, I didn't want nothing fancy. And he sent me the $10 and I got the ramen because the cat food is literally nasty. And I'm a picky eater. So I was like, yeah, no. No, y'all got it. It's cool. Y'all be merry. And then they would have these themes of the month, like Irish theme or whatever, and the food would get even nastier. The only time they cook good food is if we had a host, a guest that was coming to the college or they was trying to impress. That's the only time they would cook good food. Or when they were doing college tours, only time they would do good food. I say y'all are really out here scamming these people to make them think that y'all food is good when it is absolutely trash. Listen, all my fellow Albrightians could attest to this. Cause nobody really go to the caf unless you have to. Like, let's be real. The parties, bro. The parties. When I tell you I felt hoodwinked, bamboozled. Bro, okay, so there was a point where the parties were lit. Freshman year, Albright, child, and I'm pretty sure before, they was lit, okay? Freshman year, Albright, like, parties was jumping. Like, whole house would be packed. Everybody would be, you know you had a good party when you sweating. You sweating like you working out. Whole room is packed. You feel like the upstairs floor is finna cave in because there is way too many people in this house to fit this capacity. You feel me? Like we are maximum, over maximum capacity, but the party is lit and we all jumping around. I'm like, oh my god, we is really about to fall through this floor. Freshman year, party was jamming. Like, we used to have houses, so it would be the basketball house, it would be the football house, it would have a lacrosse house, it would have the baseball house. And so let me put you on game. So the houses to go to were freshman year, it was the basketball house. Even though you had to walk a minute to get there, not a minute, but it wasn't like around the corner, especially in the cold, because you feel that, was lit. DJ always played good music, or whoever was on the aux always played good music. You know everybody was going to be there because it's the basketball house. Always lit. Somebody, you going to smell like weed and everything in between, okay, by the time you leave. But you going to say, okay, this is a fun time. Yeah, those were good. When I tell you the houses not to go to, the lacrosse house. Girl, we went into the lacrosse house one time. And when I tell you, me and my friends were the only black people in there, besides two other black people, the only black people in there. When I tell you, it was like maybe 5 or 6 of us. And we're going to say 5. And then count the other 2 black people that were already there. So we're going to say 7 black people total. And when I tell you, I was like, oh my god, like, should I leave? Is the KKK up in here? Like, do I need to go home? Like, I don't have to party. I should be studying. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Literally was there for less than 30 minutes. All they were doing, some random music playing. It was like the kitchen, this room where they had a pool table, and then the living room kind of set up, right? So you walk through the door of the kitchen, you would go through the pool table, and then there would be the living room. So when we walked in, you know, as a black person, you feel you walk into a white space, you already feel like all eyes is on you, because I'm pretty sure they was, okay? And all eyes is on you. So everybody was hanging out basically in this middle room where the pool table like floating in between the 2 spaces. So I'm like, oh my god, we need to leave. Literally everybody's either drinking beer, playing pool, doing something stupid, or just yelling, or just doing like stupid little games, or playing beer pong. I hate beer pong. The idea of throwing a ball in a cup and then drinking out of the cup where the ball went into, where everybody has touched their hands on this ball. Ugh. Like, I just want to throw up. And so we were there, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I had to use the bathroom. The bathroom was disgusting. I said, you people don't clean, and I had to go. Like, I had to go. I couldn't wait. I should have probably went outside. That would have been better. But I had to go. I was like, you people are nasty. Like, y'all need to clean. This is disgusting. Okay? Your moms would be upset with you right now. Or maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. But that was horrible. But that don't even top the cake. Let me tell you about this time where I went to it was called the baseball house, and it was like, you never go to the baseball house, you never go to the lacrosse house, because they be, you know, putting something in the girls' drinks. Now that was the word on the street, but I said I don't drink like that, and y'all not finna get me, because my mom taught me better, okay? So the word on the street was like, you don't go to these houses, be careful, because they're known for putting stuff in girls' drinks. And child, I think they was insinuating, but I don't know if they was saying like, that means they be raping the girls, or they be getting the girls to do stuff that they usually wouldn't do in their right mind. I don't know. I never heard somebody come to me and said like this has really happened to them. It just was word on the street. You get my drift? So we went to the baseball house. Walked in. Literally, there was this white guy playing the guitar. The theme song at our school was Free Fallin', so free fallin', it go like that. And so literally you could tell that, I don't know if he was heartbroken or what. A random guy, you walk in somebody's house, nobody's upstairs. It's basically nobody upstairs. You walk, someone's playing I'm free fallin', and so you're like, okay, is he okay? Then you go downstairs. When I tell you to go downstairs, and there's literally less than 10 people in the basement. There's less than 10 people in the basement. So, you know, we already like, yeah, it's time to check. It's time to check. I don't know why we came here and who told us it was going to be lit, but they definitely lied to us. So, we go and we get to the basement, and literally my one friend, she's wearing this, I don't know if she's wearing like leggings. She's wearing something, but you know, when you have a shape, anything you wear, you're gonna see the little poom pa poom, the little booty, okay? Literally, this guy, this white guy, I think he was drunk, comes up to her and says something along the lines of, like, oh my god, you have a butt, or you have a body, or something regarding a comment to her butt. And we're like, what? What are you saying right now to us? Like, what? Like, boy, bye. But and it was so funny, but not funny at the same time. We're like, huh? The audacity of you to come out your mouth and say that. Like, don't make me hit you with a beer bottle. And that's not even the most. That's not even like the height of the parties. The ones that are like, bro, I really go to a PWI, or when you go to the frat house there, or the sorority house, because we had no black or no really black fraternities or sororities on campus. Like we have one black fraternity, but they're not really campus based. They're from like another school, and they just come, but people like join. When I tell you, bro, I went to one, people were just drunk, running around, screaming, playing beer pong. The music was okay. You know, they don't really play our type of music unless they're hip, like, unless it's like a song they really like, or they play like the 2000s music where everybody know, you know what I mean? Child, so the parties, don't expect to be like in there like doing a little do unless it's like a black hosted party, and this is how you know it's the black hosted party, because none of the white parties you gonna smell like weed or nothing. But if you can't smell the weed in the house, then it's not a black party. It's not a black party. If you can't smell the weed, it's not a black. But the gag is, now that I think about it, all the black parties would always end up with the police being called, and everybody would have to run out the house because the police are there. Someone being shady, because I just peeked. Because none of the white parties ended up with us, like, the police being called and everybody had to leave. Like, eventually everybody would have to leave, but no one would, like, the police would never come. Alright, I see you, bro. I really see you, and you really throwing mad shade right now. Thing I want to talk about is homecoming. Now, you know, us black people at our HBCUs, you see the videos, you see the viral videos, you see the band just da 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 da, hey, and like everybody just popping out, the fraternities, the sororities, everybody doing their little thing, you feel me? freshman year, I will never forget. Homecoming, bro. I was like, oh, it's homecoming week. Let me do a little doom-da-doom, a little shink-a-dink. Child, I remember walking out of my dorm and I'm like, okay, it's homecoming, like, you know, it's gonna be lit. We're gonna see the school spirit on campus. Like, everybody's gonna pop out. I was like, I went to my dorm, I was walking, I said, it's like a regular day. Like, where the homecoming spirit? What's happening? Where the outfits? Like, what? I really thought I was at HBCU. Like, I was so upset that homecoming week. I was like, ain't no parties, because I think by that time, or maybe not, but like eventually Albright took away like off-campus housing, kinda. Like, they made it harder to live off-campus, especially for sports teams. So the parties became dead. Like, literally, the parties were not good after freshman year, to be honest. They were all trash. Got rid of all the football houses, basketball houses. Like, no one really had parties there. So you already know we was not lit. Occasionally we was lit, but we was not lit. And then the parties that became lit are the ones that, you know, the African American Society would host on campus, but you can only get too lit to them because we on the campus building, you know what I mean? But it was lit. There was some times where it was like, oh, okay, period, we in here like swimwear. But yeah, no, homecoming week was trash. The school spirit was not there. The outfits were lacking. The entertainment dead, not there. Like, what? I was like, what am I even coming to school for if the homecoming week not lit? What am I coming to school for if the homecoming week not lit? Bro, I was so upset. But anyway, I digress. But homecoming, don't expect the homecoming to be all that, because it's not going to be all that. And word of advice, I went to Howard's homecoming one year and that was lit. I said, this is where I need to be. These are my people. I said, sign me up for sorority right now. Right now, sign me up, because I'm ready to stroll. Period. Put me on there, girl. Sign me in. But yeah, don't expect homecoming to be all that. Secondly, I would say homecoming. Child, let's get to the root of the issue. When I tell you, in my opinion, disclaimer, I don't want anybody to come for me, but disclaimer, in my opinion, you know, I feel as though, you know, the white people, you know, their culture, they only borrow and take from the black culture when it's convenient. They wear us and then they throw us off. You can see this is prevalent from, you know, certain white people that are famous that act quote unquote ghetto, or that act like they would say we would act, and they wear hairstyles that they would deem ghetto and do things that they would deem ghetto, but they are put on a platform and they are basically famous for acting the way they act. And so when it comes to going to a PWI, and when it comes to social injustices, when it comes to the black culture or any minority in that matter, but I can only speak from my point of view and my reference, and I'm black, so I really only know my certain you know, issues, not to be like a clouded judgment, but I do not speak for every minority, just from my point of view and my reference. So when it comes to social injustices at our school, they were really swept under the whole rug and not dealt with at all. Not dealt with. I'm not even going to even put it out there. I remember it was either my sophomore year or my freshman year. I can't remember which one. But it was the whole Colin Kaepernick thing where football players were taking a knee during the national anthem. You know, that was a big debate. Still is. So the quarterback on the football team took a knee when he was playing football. And when I tell you, the school was in an uproar. Like, the news was there. Everybody was like, he took a knee, yada yada yada. Uproar, bro, uproar. And so the football coach, from what it seemed to be, the football coach got people like black players and white players to go on the news and basically say, you know, like, we have to come out and stand as a brotherhood. Like, we can't be kneeling. Basically, like, we can't be kneeling. We have to look like we're one team and we're together. Like, if you feel as though you want to knee, then just don't come out. Basically getting the black players to say that. And I know they probably don't agree with that looking back at it now, but that's what, you know, they were coerced to say, in my opinion. So let me tell you this story. This is how I know it was shady, because I was in my accounting class, and this old white man, he got slick. So we was in class, right, and he was going on about this story. Like, the story was, he was not teaching, he was talking about this book he had read, and he was so smooth with it and slick with it. I was like, oh, he's spitting the tea, he's spilling the tea. Okay, we was in the account class, and the old white man goes, you know, you can't, I think he was referring to the football team. Basically, he was. But he was like, you can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. Or you can't sit around here and act like, oh, this is a brothership or a brotherhood, when people above you are forcing you to say that because you're on the team, to make it look like, you know, to make the team look better. Like, oh, like what he's doing, like you're making what he's doing about you and not about the actual, like you're not talking about the real issue, you're talking about like this, you know what I mean, like the distraction. Like, let's focus on the real issue and why he's doing it, and let's support him. And when I tell you, this one football player got mad, he got mad, stormed out of class. He was like, no, this is a brothership and he shouldn't have done that, yada yada yada. But he was a white guy from Florida and high-key racist. Like, you could just tell. But you know, the vibe you get from people that you know got some prejudice in it, and he was giving it. So I wasn't surprised. And there's another thing where, you know, and particularly the football team, I know exact. The head coach, like, nothing happens to him when he does something wrong. I know another scandal that came up where he was like saying racial slangs to members on the football team, from like Latino members, like calling them certain names, and black members calling them certain names, and like nothing was being done. And the hazing on the football team, where people left the football team, went home, and was scared to speak, hazing, like hazing bad. Okay, nothing happens to the football team or the football coach, nothing happened. The school tried to, when I tell you sweep it under the rug, like it was dirt. Like, it was dirt, child. Dirt. Okay? Nothing happens at our school when it comes to social injustice, especially when it comes to people in leaderships, and especially when it comes to people in sports. Like, they can do no wrong. Nothing happens. So I would say that's the frustrating thing about going to a PWI, or maybe it's other colleges, but I know at a black school, the whole school would be rattling, like coming together and just making sure things get changed. Where there are not as many black people at our school, like the black people did come together and rally and make sure, you know, they heard our voices, but we can only do so much, you know what I mean? And so that's the kind of frustrating thing about going to a PWI, especially one that really doesn't care really about the issues. They say they care, but child, they really don't care. They just want your money, and they want to meet that diversity quota at the end of the year. Check. Don't listen. If I'm lying, I'm dying, and you see I'm still here. And so that really sucks, you know? And then another thing I would say about going to a PWI is the fraternities and the sororities. When I tell you my campus has no black sororities or fraternities, they don't. And I remember one year I wanted to pledge AKA, and I still do, but I don't think I will, to be honest, because I really want to get that, you know, it's all about getting that college experience and doing a sorority or fraternity, but it's really a true experience. So I really wanted to pledge AKA, and so I went down to the like people that run sororities and that could bring sororities to the campus, and I said, you know, I really want AKA to be here, yada yada. They entertained the thought, the idea, but child, nothing, crickets. And this is how I know that they could make it happen if they wanted to, because throughout my 4 years there has been different sororities and fraternities that have happened, that have been brought on, you know what I mean, geared towards different minorities. I think they had a Hispanic sorority or something in that sort. Don't quote me, but I think they brought on one. And like other sororities and fraternities that they added on, but they were just not black. And like one at our school, they have one fraternity, which is the Omegas, that are at our school, but school, which really sucks because when you want to experience like that black culture, part of the black culture, especially the black college culture, is fraternities, is sororities, especially black fraternities and sororities, like strolling, hopping, step shows, like just randomly being in a cap and they just break out and do their little dance, you feel me? Turn on the music at the parties, just doing their own thing. It's like, hey, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And so you really don't get those moments at a PWI, especially at a PWI that doesn't offer particularly black or any minority sororities or fraternities, especially that stroller, you know, that just being in that culture. Like the only one they did offer was Omega, but Omega wasn't located on campus. They had one at Kutztown, and Kutztown was like 45 minutes from Albright, so they would travel. So if you went to Albright, you could join their fraternity and they would come on campus and like say, you know, you could be a part of our fraternity, yada yada yada. But there was like no, like bro, nothing, crickets. I did not like it. I really wanted to pledge AKA when I was in school, and I was excited. I really wanted to do it. I even was like, okay, if I can't pledge AKA, like I will try to figure out, like, I'll see what these white sororities are talking about. Child, I went to the meeting. I said, yeah, no, I'm not going to like this. I said, I'm not sending y'all money and I do not want to be here. I'm not repping this sorority. Like, I'm not. I was like, you're not strolling. You basically going to, like, for hazing, even though they're not supposed to haze. For hazing, you basically, like, you going to tell me to drink, basically. You know what I mean? I'm not getting drunk all day. Bye. So, I really don't like that. And like I did try to get a AKA or another, you know, sorority there that was of color. Child, crickets, and still don't have one. So you tell me what's T? Because they've been running for a couple years and they have black students, a lot of black students. So you tell me what's T? Child, and that was sick. But yeah, I would say I really don't like that. I really don't like that. And then another thing to mention is homecoming. You know how at black homecomings you have the concert, and one year the lady was like, oh, like let's make suggestions for homecoming, like, you know, how do we make it more fun, like give us suggestions. I said we could have a concert would be lit, like the school can make money, like y'all already do little things here. She was like, I don't know if we could do a concert, like I don't think that would be in the budget, yada yada yada. Mind you, you guys, certain groups, we have allocations and every group gets a certain amount of money. Like they have took us, one year they did like the Kevin Hart, like a certain amount of tickets to Kevin Hart, like all these different activities the school offers for free or like less than nothing, like $5. You could have done a concert. Don't try to play me, sis. Don't do it, because I'm not the one. I said, if you don't want to have a concert, just say that then. Say that then. Don't say you can't afford it. Just say we don't want to do that. But anyway, that's my story on going to a PWI. I would say one thing is, I guess, kind of pro or not really. I mean, a lot of people are into the education, kind of, sort of. And you get to experience, like, other cultures outside of, you know, being black, like other minorities or just hanging around with a white person that you usually wouldn't. So you do get to experience other cultures. But if you're looking for that, like, blackness, you know what I mean? That sense of, like, pride, you know, the fashion shows every day, the food hitting the way it's supposed to, the parties lit every weekend, you're not gonna get that. Well, at least not at my school. So maybe I went to the wrong PWI. I mean, they do offer a little change. You know, I didn't go for free. I should have, but I didn't go for free, which I wish I did. But I would say, you know, it's a little kind find the pros, you know, connections and all that. But at the end of the day, it ain't a HBCU, and I just wanted to experience that just once. Just once I wanted to experience that, but I didn't, and I kind of regret it. But it's whatever at this point. I can't go over it. I do enjoy my time there, but these are things that if you are going to if you're going to a PWI, just consider as a black person that some of the experiences you won't necessarily experience. So thank you guys for joining me on this episode. Make sure you subscribe, rate the podcast, give us 5 stars, leave a comment, share, please guys, please share. Yeah, subscribe, leave a comment. I like it. Let me know who you want to see on the podcast next, or let me know any topics you want me to talk about revolving around college or adulting, because we can talk, child. I could talk for days. I could do this for hours and hours and hours. Okay, so yeah, you guys, thanks for watching this episode. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye, you guys.